Someone is about to drop a mysterious black bag right at your door. And before you dismiss that sentence as impossible, listen carefully. Because what you're about to hear has caused thousands of people to stop what they're doing. Close the door, sit down, and think about their life in a completely different way. Right now, at this exact moment, there is something moving toward you. Not a person. Not an object. Not even an event. It's a message. A message disguised as a black bag. And no, this is not about a real bag filled with money. It's something much stranger. Much more valuable. And much more dangerous to ignore. So don't skip. Don't scroll. Because somewhere during this message, you may recognize exactly what's inside that bag. And when you do, everything changes. Take a deep breath. Imagine this. It's late at night. The street outside your house is unusually quiet. No cars. No voices. No sounds. Then suddenly, you hear footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Deliberate. Step. 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 The footsteps stop right outside your door. You freeze. You weren't expecting anyone. No deliveries. No visitors. Nothing. Then, a soft thud. As if something heavy has been placed on the ground. You wait. A minute passes. Then another. Finally, you open the door. And there it is. A black bag. No name. No label. No explanation. Just a black bag sitting silently in front of you. Your heart starts racing. Who left it there? Why? And more importantly, what's inside? You slowly unzip the bag. Expecting fear. Expecting confusion. Expecting danger. But what you find is something nobody expects. Inside the bag is your future. Not written in words. Not shown in pictures. But hidden in symbols. Clues. Pieces. Fragments. The first thing you pull out is a clock. A very old clock. Its hands are moving. But strangely, they're moving faster than normal. Much faster. And suddenly you understand. The clock represents something you've been forgetting. Time. The one thing every human receives equally. The one thing nobody can buy. The one thing nobody can recover once it's gone. And the clock inside the black bag seems to be sending a warning. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now. Because while many people think they have unlimited time, the truth is, nobody knows how much remains. Some people waste decades assuming they'll eventually begin living. Then one day, they discover the clock was moving faster than they thought. And that's when regret appears. The bag is warning you. The clock is warning you. Something important cannot wait forever. But that's only the first item. Beneath the clock, you find a key. A strange golden key. It shines brighter than anything you've ever seen. You hold it up. And immediately a question enters your mind. What door does this key open? Then the answer arrives. This key doesn't open a physical door. It opens opportunity. A chance. A path. A possibility. Something you've been standing near for a long time. Something you've been afraid to touch. Maybe it's a business. Maybe it's a dream. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a talent. Whatever it is. The key represents the opportunity you've been postponing. And here's the shocking part. Most people die holding keys they never used. Think about that. They spend years saying, one day. Later. When the time is right. When I'm ready. But the time never feels perfect. And eventually, the opportunity disappears. The key rusts. The door closes. Forever. The black bag is telling you something. The key still works. But not forever. Then, you notice something hidden underneath. A mirror. Small. Dark. Ancient. You lift it carefully. And when you look inside, you don't see your face. You see your potential. The version of you that could exist if fear disappeared. The version of you that stopped doubting. Stopped hesitating. Stopped waiting for permission. And for a moment, the image is almost unbearable. Because deep inside, you already know you're capable of more. Much more. Most people aren't haunted by failure. They're haunted by the version of themselves they never became. And that realization hits harder than any nightmare. The mirror in the black bag forces one question. Who would you be if you stopped limiting yourself? And before you can answer, you discover another object. A folded piece of paper. Old. Yellow. Fragile. You open it carefully. It's a list. A list of names. People who believed in you. People who supported you. People who prayed for you. People who sacrificed for you. Some are still here. Some are gone. And suddenly emotion fills the room. Because success is never achieved alone. Every person carries invisible support from others. Parents. Friends. Teachers. Mentors. Loved ones. The paper reminds you that your journey affects more people than you realize. Your victory becomes their victory. Your growth becomes their joy. Your success becomes proof that their faith was not wasted. Then something unexpected happens. You reach deeper into the black bag. And your hand touches something cold. Very cold. You pull it out. It's a stone. Heavy. Dark. Almost impossible to carry. And immediately you know what it represents. The burden you've been carrying. Pain. Disappointment. Loss. Betrayal. Failure. Regret. Every person has a stone. Some hide it well. Others carry it openly. But everyone has one. The question is not whether the stone exists. The question is whether you'll keep carrying it forever. Because here's what many people never realize. The stone was never meant to stay in your hands. It was meant to teach you something. Then be released. The black bag isn't just delivering gifts. It's delivering truth. And truth can be uncomfortable. Because the next item changes everything. At the very bottom, you find a sealed envelope. No sender. No address. Just one sentence written across the front. Open only if you're ready. Your hands begin shaking. You break the seal. Inside is a single message. A message that feels like it was written specifically for you. It says, "You are closer than you think." That's it. Nothing more. Yet somehow those words hit harder than anything else. Because so many people quit moments before breakthrough. Moments before success. Moments before answers. Moments before transformation. They leave the race too early. They stop digging 1 foot before treasure. They surrender 1 chapter before the miracle appears. The envelope reveals something powerful. You may be far closer than you realize. Closer to change. Closer to victory. Closer to purpose. Closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. And that's when the final secret of the black bag is revealed. The bag was never delivered by a stranger. It was delivered by life itself. Every item inside has been following you for years. The clock. The key. The mirror. The list. The stone. The envelope. They've always been there. But today, you finally notice them. And that changes everything. Because now you have a choice. Ignore the message. Close the bag. Return to distraction. Return to delay. Return to fear. Or accept what's inside. Use the key. Learn from the stone. Honor the names. Face the mirror. Respect the clock. Believe the envelope. Because the mysterious black bag wasn't sent to scare you. It was sent to wake you up. And if you're hearing this right now, perhaps that's exactly why it arrived today. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Today. The question is no longer what's inside the bag. The question is, what will you do now that you've opened it? Because somewhere beyond this moment, a different future is waiting. A future that only appears when a person finally decides to stop sleeping through their own life. The bag is open. The message has been delivered. And whether you realize it or not, a new chapter has already begun. The black bag is still open. You thought the message was over. You thought you had already seen everything hidden inside. But as you stare into the darkness of the bag, something strange happens. The inside suddenly appears deeper than before. Much deeper. Almost impossible. As if the bag contains far more than should physically fit inside it. And that's when you notice another compartment. A hidden compartment. One that wasn't visible the first time. Your heart begins racing. Because hidden things usually exist for a reason. Slowly, you reach inside. And your fingers touch something warm. Not hot. Not cold. Warm. Alive. You pull it out. And what you discover makes no sense. It's a small lantern. An old lantern. Yet somehow, it's already lit. A steady flame burns inside. Bright. Calm. Unmoving. You stare at it. And suddenly you understand. The lantern represents hope. Not the weak kind of hope people talk about casually. Real hope. The kind that survives storms. The kind that refuses to die. The kind that keeps a person moving when everything around them says stop. Most people don't lose because they're weak. Most people lose because they allow their inner light to go out. And once that light disappears, fear takes over. Doubt takes over. Excuses take over. But the lantern inside the black bag reveals a shocking truth. Your light is still burning. Even after everything you've survived. Even after every disappointment. Every rejection. Every painful memory. The flame is still alive. And that means your story isn't over. Not even close. Then, you hear something. A sound. Very faint. Very distant. It seems to be coming from inside the bag itself. A ticking sound. Tick. 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 At first you think it's the clock again. But no. This is different. Much different. You reach inside. And pull out a small black box. The ticking grows louder. Your hands begin shaking. Because something about the box feels important. Extremely important. You slowly open it. Inside, you find a single seed. That's all. A tiny seed. Nothing impressive. Nothing valuable. Nothing extraordinary. Or so it seems. Until you realize what it represents. Potential. The greatest force in the world. Every giant tree once existed as a tiny seed. Every empire began as an idea. Every success started as something small. Very small. The problem is, most people underestimate small beginnings. They want instant results. Instant success. Instant transformation. And because they don't see immediate rewards, they quit. But the seed inside the box carries a message. Great things grow quietly. The most powerful changes happen underground first. Invisible. Unnoticed. Unknown. Then one day, the world sees the results. And calls it luck. The black bag is reminding you. What you're building may not look impressive today. But that doesn't mean it isn't growing. Then suddenly, the room becomes colder. A chill moves through the air. You look back inside the bag. And see something moving. Your heart nearly stops. Because something is definitely moving. Slowly. A shadow rises from the darkness. Not a monster. Not a person. A shadow shaped exactly like you. You freeze. The shadow stares back. And then something terrifying happens. It begins speaking. Not out loud. Inside your mind. It says, I am every excuse you've ever made. The room feels smaller. The air feels heavier. The shadow continues. I am the voice that says wait. I am the voice that says later. I am the voice that says you're not ready. I am the voice that says you're not good enough. Suddenly everything becomes clear. The greatest obstacle was never outside. It was inside. Most people spend years fighting enemies that don't exist. Meanwhile, their real enemy lives within their own thoughts. Fear. Self-doubt. Overthinking. Procrastination. The shadow survives only because it's fed attention. And the moment you stop believing it, it begins shrinking. The shadow looks weaker now. Smaller. Less powerful. Then it disappears completely. Gone. Just like that. And for the first time, you realize how much power you've been giving things that don't deserve it. But the bag isn't finished. Not yet. Far from it. Deep inside, you discover another envelope. This one is black. Darker than anything you've ever seen. Across the front are 5 words. Read this very carefully. You open it. Inside is a question. Only one question. Yet it feels heavier than everything else. The question says, if nothing changed, where would you be 5 years from now? You stare at the words. And suddenly, your mind starts racing. Because most people never ask themselves this question. They assume life automatically improves with time. But time changes nothing by itself. Action changes things. Decisions change things. Discipline changes things. 5 years from now, the person who keeps delaying will still be delaying. The person who keeps doubting will still be doubting. The person who keeps waiting will still be waiting. Unless something changes. And that something must begin now. The envelope forces you to see the future. Not the future you want. The future you're creating through today's habits. And that realization is impossible to ignore. Then, something incredible appears. At the very bottom of the bag. A small glass jar. Inside the jar are glowing stars. Hundreds of them. Tiny stars. Each one shining brightly. You unscrew the lid. And immediately the room fills with light. The stars begin floating upward. One by one. Beautiful. Silent. Powerful. Then you understand. Each star represents a moment. A moment when you were stronger than you realized. A moment when you survived something difficult. A moment when you refused to quit. A moment when you kept going despite everything. The problem is, people remember their failures far more than their victories. They remember embarrassment, mistakes, pain. But they forget their strength. The stars are proof. You have already survived things that once felt impossible. You have already overcome challenges you thought would destroy you. You are living evidence of your own resilience. And maybe that's why the stars were hidden so deep inside the bag. Because sometimes, The greatest proof of your future success can be found in the battles you've already won. The stars continue floating around the room, creating a sky of light above your head. And for the first time, you feel something different. Not fear. Not uncertainty. Not doubt. Possibility. Pure possibility. Because the black bag wasn't predicting your future. It was revealing your power. The power that has been sitting quietly inside you all along. The power you've underestimated. Ignored. Forgotten. Yet never lost. The lantern still burns. The seed still waits. The stars still shine. And somewhere deep inside, you begin realizing something incredible. The mysterious black bag didn't arrive because your story is ending. It arrived because your real story is finally about to begin. And what emerges next may be the most important discovery of all. The stars are still floating above you. The lantern continues burning. The mysterious black bag remains open. But something feels different now. The room no longer feels ordinary. The air feels heavier. Charged. As if the universe itself is waiting for something. Waiting for you. Then suddenly, the black bag begins moving. Not violently. Not aggressively. Slowly. Deliberately. Almost as if it's breathing. You step back. Your heart pounds louder. Because deep down, you know there's still one final secret hidden inside. The greatest secret. The reason the bag appeared at your door in the first place. A low sound begins echoing from inside. Not a voice. Not music. A heartbeat. Thump. 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 The sound grows louder. And louder. And louder. Until it feels synchronized with your own heart. You kneel beside the bag. Slowly reach inside. And this time, your hand touches something unexpected. A book. A massive black book. Heavier than anything you've pulled out before. You carefully lift it. Dust falls from its cover. Ancient symbols cover the front. Yet one word stands clearly in the center. Destiny. Your breathing becomes shallow. Because somehow, you already know this book is different. Very different. You slowly open the first page. And immediately freeze. Because the first page contains your name. Your exact name. Written in gold. You turn another page. Then another. Then another. What you discover leaves you speechless. Every page contains moments from your life. Moments nobody else should know. Moments you've never shared. Victories. Failures. Secrets. Dreams. Fears. Everything. It's all there. Every chapter. Every decision. Every crossroads. Every mistake. Every lesson. The book somehow knows it all. Then you notice something strange. Near the end of the book, the pages are blank. Completely blank. Hundreds of pages. Empty. Waiting. You stare at them. confused. Then a realization crashes into your mind. The blank pages are your future. The future has not been written. Not yet. Not completely. And suddenly a powerful truth becomes impossible to ignore. Many people spend their entire lives believing everything is already decided. That they have no control. No influence. No power. But the blank pages prove otherwise. Your next chapter depends on your next choice. Your next decision. Your next action. The pen is still in your hand. The final message. The message that explains everything. It says, your moment is closer than you think. You read it again. And again. And again. Because deep down, something inside you knows it's true. Maybe that's why you're here. Maybe that's why you opened this message. Maybe that's why the mysterious black bag arrived at your door today. Not because of coincidence. Not because of luck. But because part of you was ready. Ready to remember. Ready to wake up. Ready to stop settling. Ready to stop doubting. Ready to stop waiting. The bag never contained money. It never contained treasure. It contained something far more valuable. Awareness. Possibility. Purpose. And now, the delivery is complete. The stars slowly return to the jar. The lantern's flame settles. The book closes. The heartbeat fades. The bag begins disappearing. Slowly. Quietly. Returning to darkness. Returning to wherever mysterious things come from. Until finally, it's gone. Only one thing remains. A question. A question that will follow you long after this moment ends. If the next chapter of your life truly depends on the choices you make from this day forward, what chapter will you write? Because somewhere in the distance, a future version of you is watching. Waiting. Hoping. Believing. And that future version is whispering the same words again and again. I'm waiting for you. The rest is up to you.